Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. It is your girl, Miss Honey, here with a review for Fatal Affair. Y'all requested it. I thought maybe we could do a live so we can talk back and forth, but most of y'all wanted me to do a review. I thank y'all for weighing in. I am watching the movie now for the second time, and I am going to do a live reaction for the whole movie. So y'all bear with me. Let's go. A black lady and a white man. Now they just finished having post coitus. She going to get her a light lemonade, refresh herself, child, before she get back in them. She calling out for him, child. She don't know. She don't know that he. Oh Lord, oh Lord, she going to be with Jesus. She going to be with the Lord. Travis ain't there no more. The covers ain't there. Ain't nothing there, girl. I still going. Travis gone. The covers gone. All of that. Going upstairs all quiet. Why you being so cautious? Walking up to the door, girl. Ain't supposed to be nobody there but you and him. Y'all trying to give us suspense. Bed still made up. You know he ain't in the bed. Y'all was weighing the sofa up running. You ain't hear that faucet come on? You was downstairs long enough for them to run a almost full tub of water, child. Anyway, she gone. Scenery is absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful. Nia Long is absolutely flawless. And she really has kept herself up real good. She really has. Y'all know Nia Long, like myself, is bow-legged. So she's one of my bow-legged sisters. She one of the bow sisters, okay? Anyway, she is obviously a lawyer. She's obviously a professional, a mover and a shaker. She's taking a drive up what looks like to be a coast, and she's on the phone, moving and shaking, gets to her house. There's a for sale sign there, and she goes on in, calls for her husband, Travis, honey, he come in all quiet. The guy who plays Travis doesn't really lend a lot to the scene at all. He's kind of flat there. Here they seem as though they're just going through their lines. And it continues on with the night ending. Travis is gone to bed. He in the bed now. He look good. Them shoulders and that neck on that white pillow. Let me just say this. The setup is beautiful. The home is beautiful. The scenery is beautiful. Okay, absolutely very, very well shot. These are two very, very attractive people. She takes a ring or a jewel. She seems melancholy. She's at this anticlimactic place where she kind of was hoping it would be more exciting, more something, more vibrant. She gets in that bed and looks at him with his back turned towards her and gets in the bed. And the way she's laid on that pillow, like, ugh. I was like, girl, I know what's going on with you, but you can initiate too, girl. You can initiate too. Fingers crossed for a little early morning peace. All right. Okay. Okay, so Nia Long's character name is Ellie. Ellie's married to Travis. And we see her coming into her office and talking to her good girlfriend, talking about the traffic, because now she coming from much further away. She don't live in the city no more. And what's funny is that the woman who played her girlfriend look a lot like Naya Rivera. A lot like Naya Rivera to me. And so she goes on into the office. She goes right into a meeting, and all of the partners are there. The big boss is there, and the big boss is big up in her and letting us know that she's going to be leaving the firm. She's going to be going to start her own firm. They said to let her go. She's obviously a very good lawyer, so on and so forth. And she also announces David Hammond. Now, Ellie know David. She recognized him because they went to college together, okay? She know him, but she don't know. She's very polite. She's very professional. Right off the bat, it's I wouldn't say it's a connection, but they both kind of feed off each other's energy in a real professional type of way. Except when she dropped a piece of paper on the floor, because he sat right next to her, and she went down to get that piece of paper, and he got it for her, and when she grabbed it from him, she touched his hand. Now, see, that didn't mean nothing to her, but that meant something to him, okay? Okay, no touching, no touching. That's rule number one, no touching, right? Mm-hmm. So they leave out of there. They're laughing, they're quipping. He's talking about how beautiful she looks, and they'll have to catch up. And she was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh, hold on a second," and he went and reached and grabbed something out of her hair. Oh, listen, that is a very intimate move. Somebody trying to get something out your hair, out your face, okay, and off your shirt. All of that is breach of personal space, right? Signal number one. That, let me tell you, that getting some off your out your hair, off your face, off your clothes, and that touch on the small of your back. When dudes go behind you like they trying to reach around you to get something, and they bring their hand around that waistline and rest it in the small of the back, just on top of your the booka dooka, bunka dunka, the dunkity dunk. That's a sign of intimacy. That is a sign of intimacy. It's a come on. You know what I'm saying? It might not be intentional all the time, but I'm gonna tell you now, and that's how it's gonna be interpreted. So he busting a move right out the gate, right out the gate. He want to go, and he said, "Well, what about tomorrow night?" Now he trying to lock her in. He trying to lock in a date. She gets onto the house, and they sitting at the table eating. First of all, it's dark as hell in there. He got a couple of candles lit, pillar candles lit around, like a lamp on a living room table on in the background. So I know the people got power. And I just don't understand why it's so dark. Like, the kitchen is completely dark. Did you wash all the dishes? I mean, did you bring the food in and just put them on plates? Like, why is that house so dark? I just didn't understand that. And they having the driest conversation where we learn, that he's in recovery. He's just now getting back into a firm. We don't know exactly what it is he do as of yet. But it is the driest, most painful conversation. And she do seem like she care about him. She want him to take it easy, getting back into the firm because he's still in recovery. We still don't know what happened to him. Then we see her standing outside on the pier. Now they got their own private beach, so she's got her own pier out overlooking the beach area and then the water. And she's out there all wrapped up in the dark, again in melancholy. She's bored. They're both bored. I don't know what this recovery is, but obviously it's something that really, really impacted their relationship. Maybe she was the caregiver in this whole process, and it's the thrill is gone. Like, it takes a lot of energy out of a marriage for one of the individuals to be sick or down in the body, and then the other person got to do all of the caregiving and stuff. So it's just in a real dry place. Next day, she get to the office, and her and David and the big boss. Now, see, David is a IT tech. He is a hacker, a professional hacker, basically. He knows how to go in and get your emails and your phone calls and all of these types of things. But he also know how to break into security systems as well. Anything that have to do with data, internet security, this is what he do. Now, so he done collected all this information on this client they trying to win the case for, on the defendant. And so he comes in and shares the information. It's really great. And they leave out kind of like a celebration. Now, he does make a reference why he ain't just call us and tell us about the information, is what Ellie wanted to know. And he said, I wanted to bring it to you in person. Okay. So now, if Ellie was single, all of these signals, I'm thinking, would have been more apparent to her. The pulling of something out of her hair, and just the little references to her beauty, and trying to kind of be persistent about wanting to go out, and that type of thing. All of those things would have been like, oh, girl, I think he liked me, right? But Ellie don't see it. Now, when you've been in a relationship for a long time, whether it's a marriage or you've been going with somebody for a long time, that type of thing, you do kind of lose your radar. You know what it called? You kind of lose your radar after a while. So anyway, he wanna know if this calls for celebration. How about drinks? Right now, I see the wedding ring on her finger. He see the wedding ring on her finger, and she knows she got the wedding ring on, and a whole husband at home. Right? Like you. But she going out with a girlfriend too, Courtney. So she want him to come along. He feign like he don't want to come along, but of course he want to come along. Obviously he want to come along. You get all the signals like you want to come along. Okay. Okay, listen. She get down to the restaurant. The girlfriend call on the phone to let her know she got some work to do at the office, so she can't come. Okay. He walks up just in time. And asks her if everything's okay. She let him know that Courtney can't come, right? And so he says, "Oh, good. More for me." And as she turns to walk on, he scoops the small of her back. This is what I'm telling you. This is what I'm telling you. He giving her all the signs that he feels an intimate way about her. So at this point, whether you been in a relationship a long time or not, at this point you gotta know that this may go somewhere, real crazy. And it could be a problem, right? And so they get to the table, sit down, and he pouring the wine. She said just a little bit. And he says, "I never known Ellie Brooks to turn down a challenge, right? Or not to be able to hold her own." And she told him what her last name is now. I ain't Brooks no more. I'm Warren now. And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's right, Warren." Well, what makes this conversation kind of sinister after you've seen it for the first time and you go back and look at it is he know that her name not Brooks no more. He's leading her into all of this conversation. Okay, then anytime a dude put a challenge out there for you to drink more, that's a sign. That is a sign. That is a sign. I'm telling you. It's like accelerate. You're trying to accelerate things. You're trying to push them along a lot faster, right? So she trying to pace it, but he's trying to get it all unfolded, all rolled out. Tell him she got a daughter. And no way you got a daughter in college. She bring out a picture and show a picture of a daughter. He think the daughter is beautiful. And she want to know about him. What about you? Wife, kids, story. Oh, divorced. No kids. You just say you divorced. Nothing like yours. Not perfect like yours. And she was like, "Oh, it may seem perfect. I do have the perfect marriage and the perfect child and the perfect job and the perfect home and all that stuff. But one day you wake up next to somebody 20 years later and you feel like you laying next to a stranger." So, same time, her husband, Marcus, not Travis, texts her and want to know how she doing and how drinks with Courtney going. And she says, "Fine." Courtney says hi. Now, that's gonna come back to bite you in the butt, Miss. And he said, "Trouble? Is it problem?" "No, no problem at all." She let him know his Marcus on the phone. Anyway, he want to know if she want another bottle of wine. They done drank a whole bottle of wine. We keep going like this. I'm not gonna be able to get home. That type of thing. He was like, "I don't even worry about it." Now, you done lied to your husband, so you know what you want to do. Like, you know what you want to do. You know what you about to do. You just don't know how far it's going to go yet, but you want something. You want something from this. And he was like, "Okay, well, where do we go from here?" She been drinking a little bit. Can't get on the road right now. Let's do it. She said, "Let's do 20 years ago." So they go to this club. Okay, so they get to the club and they at the bar. And the DJ playing Forget Me Not. Sending Forget Me Nots. Dun, dun, to remember. Okay. And they talking at the bar. And she want to know why they never dated. See, here's the thing. He know her. She know his face. Okay, but he know her because you could tell, even in this scene, before we know anything else, that she was a catch. She was considered a 10, like in college. And she dated dudes in college, or a lot of dudes really liked her in college. And he probably was one of them interlopers, person that was always kind of watching, waiting, to pick up your paper or pick up your books or help you with a door, trying to get you to look at them as something other than just an interloper, the dude that sit in the back of the classroom. That's what he seemed like he was to me. And now y'all ain't drinking wine, y'all drinking shots, right? So y'all already know when you leave wine and move to alcohol, that's turn up. That's a turn up. That is not a turn down. Okay, that's a turn up. And she tells him he a bad influence. Now he didn't obviously. He tells her that he knew her before. He knew that she worked at the firm before he got there. When her boss called, inquired about his services, he found out then that she worked there and he knew her. And she was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. That's not weird at all." But then when he go and pick her hand up, okay, and bring it up, you know what I'm saying, in that gentleman, and you know what I'm saying, that awkward moment when somebody about to say something that's supposed to be like meaningful. And just that gesture of intimacy, you could see that she felt like, oh, wait a minute, I don't know if I want all of this. Like your girl want to feel good, your girl want to feel pretty and sexy, but she, I don't know if I want all these emotions. And he tell her, if you was my woman, you would never feel like a stranger. Now this after she done poured her heart out. You know, they done made these quips about why they never dated, and maybe you were just a friend, maybe you had too many men, or maybe you just wasn't. Yeah. Okay, and then Estelle, okay, Into the Fire comes on, baby. Woo! My. Ooh, he said, do you trust me? Huh? No, I don't trust you. Okay, girl. Come on. Ooh, it's just banging in the back. Ooh, tie back my hands. Huh? What you doing? Take what you need. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, I'm at your command. Huh? Oh, yeah. So have mercy on me. Ooh. I'll do what you want. Oh, they grinding, baby. Do as you please, baby. She done turned around, put her back to it, baby. She leaning into it. Can't take anymore. Won't you come rescue me? Oh, she leaning back into him, y'all. She leaning back into it. He's spinning around. Ooh, she put them short. Ooh, please set me on fire. Please set me on fire. Huh? Please set me on fire. Ooh. Please set me on fire. And she walks off. Oh, because she on fire. She on fire. She got to cool herself off. She got to go get herself together. Okay? Your panties is wet. What was you thinking? What was you thinking? Not Estelle. She go to walk out the bathroom and he is coming through the door. Baby, he leans into that neck and get her that sugar. She got that tequila all up inside her head. Them legs is up and she is on that countertop, baby, and he is kissing. He is kissing it. And that knee long wig is giving me everything. Boom, breasts out. Ugh. When you take them breasts out, it's the end. It's the end. It's the end. I'm telling you. Oh, down come the panties. He done pull the panties all the way off. And he is wrestling with his belt. He's so eager. He cannot wait to get in there. Oh, he's fumbling. And she said, oh, I can't. I'm sorry. I have to go. Oh, girl, you brought us right to the brink, to the edge, baby. Now, I'm going to tell you something. That hurts. That hurts. He done ran after her. Ellie. She said, I gotta go home. I gotta go home. He said, you saying you sleeping with a complete stranger? She said, you deserve to be with a man that appreciates you. And she's like, listen, I need it tonight, but that should have never happened. Okay? My car is here. Good night, David. Okay? And I know his thing is probably like, oh yes, that hurts. That's hurt. That hurts. Okay, I already know that hurts. Yes. Child, she in an Uber that long drive home, baby. Thinking about all the things that you liked about tonight. Licking her lips, baby. She can still taste them on her. She can feel him down in the nooks and the crannies of her neck, baby. When he released them titties, ow! Oh, she thinking about it all. She thinking about all of it. He ain't no rollover kind of guy. You know, right now what she got at home is all rollover, baby. Okay, he gave her primal energy, but she bowed in tears. on her way home, realizing that she has really, really, really mucked up her trust with her husband. That clean record she had, oh no, it's no more. She get up and get upstairs, and there her husband is rolled over, baby, knocked out, and she's sitting on the edge of that bed, and she looked like, what have I done? Meanwhile, David ringing her phone. I'm sorry, please forgive me. He texting her. Okay, the husband wake up because he done heard that phone. That's an international alarm clock for all people, male or female. When you hear that phone buzz of your mates, yeah, you pay attention, you listen up. And so then Ellie go out, and she out there on the water, on the dock, baby, and doing her exercise. She trying to center herself, because in her mind, this is over. I'm gonna put it out of my mind. I'm gonna put it out of my thoughts, and I'm just gonna forge ahead and embrace what I got going on here, which is a new firm, and then moving, and getting a new office building for myself, and this home, and my husband, and just me and him, and we cooking, and we on the beach together, and she running, and she getting herself together. She gonna put all of this stuff in front of this one night, and something tells me it ain't gonna work. Now her and Marcus rekindling, baby. They getting in the shower together. They cooking together. They dancing together. Okay, they doing the nasty now. Things are back to the way it was, right? Like, you just gotta push past that tough spot. You can't try to patch it up with another individual. Cause see, now they back. They back to their old ways. They back to their old loves. Okay. Then we cut to David. David in with his therapist. She want to know how he doing. He say he doing good. He working again. He back in the gym. He done met somebody. And the therapist was like, oh, really? And he was like, oh, yeah, she's getting out of a long relationship, but we taking things slow, giving each other some space. And she say, listen, do you remember when you first came to see me for your court-ordered therapy? You told me how you felt broken. He said, well, why do you keep bringing that up? I told you I was over it now. She said, after what you've been through, I think we need to keep revisiting this. Okay, I don't think it's that easy to be done with the situation, done with that type of anger. The daughter comes home from college. She's like on spring break. It's something about the dynamic between the actor that plays Marcus and Nia Long's character, Ellie. And even when you throw the daughter in, it's a little weird. The energy is off. She had a much more fluid energy with Omar Epps' character, David, than she does with her husband. Something about it. I don't know. Things are all Gucci, all gravy. She goes back into the city and has coffee with Courtney. And they parked on the street, and she's getting ready to move. Parking is kind of tight, so there's a dude that's waiting to get her spot when she pull out. Now, we can see that she's being watched. Guess who she being watched by? She being watched by David. And as she's going to put her stuff in the car, she hear her name, it's David. And he was like, oh, wow, I was just leaving a meeting across the street, and I thought to myself, she looks like Ellie. You look great. She's, thank you. Look, I'm just going to come right out and say it. That's what he said about that night. I apologize. Oh, please. It's totally fine. You don't need to apologize. It was late. We both had too much to drink. It should have never happened. He said, yeah, I thought you might be angry. Why would I be angry? He said, well, you didn't return any of my phone. Okay, clue number one. She said, I just got coffee. Why don't we have coffee? Because, man, she said, no, I already got my coffee. He said, well, what about let's do lunch? Let's go get something to eat. And I can't have coffee, she said. I can't have lunch. I can't. I'm married. It's just not right. It's not okay. I'm not doing this. So she's full on, fully committed, no matter what she felt that night. No matter how it popped off, she has said, I'm not going to go any further with this. And the man waiting on the parking space, he honking. Now he yelling out the window, hey, are you moving or what? And he turns around and tells the man, I said, wait a GD minute. In that time, she has turned around and got her car. She's done arguing. You're not going to talk me into it. It's not happening. I said what I said, and she getting ready to leave. And he looked back at that car, and when I saw that jaw of his clip, he is seething. Now, before she pulled off, he said, knock on the window. He said, I get it. I understand. I just want you to know I'm here for you. And she said, I appreciate that. Take care. And she peels on off. All right? Go on about your business now. Go on about your business. Now, she ain't being ugly to him. She trying to, break it in real slow. The guy steady honking. He's standing in that spot. Like I said, that jaw was clenched so tight. Okay? And so it begins. Now he calling regularly. He texting her regularly. She trying to get her meal together for her family. And he is steady calling her, texting her. I can't stop thinking about you. It was good to see you today. Just all of this stuff. She blocks the contact. And she done blocked that contact, and she done blocked him out of her mind. Her husband come in. They fire is yet still burning. They get to kissing and hugging and, being intimate, being playful like married people do. And next thing we know, they in front of the fire. Okay, they making sweet monkey love. Okay, we see he got a scar on his shoulder from whatever this is that has happened to him. Okay, and that, of course, they in California somewhere with this water dashing up against the rocks and stuff in front of a picture window, child, and she is straddling and riding him. David outside in the dog, child, watching through the picture window as she get to it with her own man, with her own husband. What the hell? Okay. Now let me say this. I see a few missteps. I think the David character could have been a lot more sinister. Case in point, technically he should have went around to that man who was honking trying to get in that parking spot and pummeled him and walked off, or followed him to where he was going and pummeled him and walked off. I think it would have added to the crazy, basically. And I think that might be the issue that people are having with Omar Epps playing this character. He seems so boy next door. You know what I mean? Even when they was in the bar talking and stuff, she said, yeah, maybe I would have given you a chance if you looked as good as you do now. Which Omar Epps do look good, but he still look boy next door. Like, he still look regular schmegular to me. He just look good. He's a good looking black man. His energy is not really a crazy energy. He brought it, but he didn't bring threatening, in my opinion. To me, I didn't buy the threatening portion of the character. Y'all tell me what you think. Next day, she's at her office, her new office. She's got her new assistant, and Marcus comes over with some flowers and a coffee. It's a cute enough moment, but again, I don't know. The two actors just kind of seem like they're running their lines. They're dropping their lines at the appropriate time, but there's not a lot of energy behind it. These two actors don't have a lot of chemistry at all. They're both professionals. The lines are hit perfectly. There's no stumble or anything like that. It's just the energy in the moment isn't there. It looks like acting. It feels like acting. I think I was just so excited when I first saw the movie, being, mostly black cast and Nia Long and Omar Epps back together again. Like, I didn't pick at any of these scabs, but this is a review. This what I do. Like, I'm looking at it. I'm just like, the two of them, it's not cohesive. It's not believable. Anyway, she let him know when she sent him on out the door that their daughter gonna be out on her own days. It's just gonna be the three of us, me, you, and Courtney, right? So she at home getting the groceries together, and in come Courtney telling Marcus, who done went to the door, I hope you don't mind my +1. She trying to finish the salad up. She turned around, and Courtney's +1 is David. Now, why the hell he in a full-on turtleneck, I do not know. But if you go back through Omar Epps' history, he wears a lot of turtlenecks. Now, I don't know if it's somebody done told him that he looks extra, extra, extra handsome in a turtleneck, but he got on a black turtleneck and a doggone gray suit and two giant black stone studs in his ear. I was like, where the hell was you going? Ain't nobody in this whole situation got on a jacket, let alone a turtleneck and a jacket. You know what I'm saying? And it's like cow neck. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even like a tight fitted shirt like what Eddie Long used to wear. It's got extra fabric at the top up under his chin. You know what I'm saying? Like it's snowing outside. Meanwhile, you can hear the waves dashing on the Mickey Freaky Beach outside. Now I know it get chilly out there on the beach, but ain't nobody else in a coat. Like who is in charge of set design, costuming? What is we doing? Come on, y'all. Ugh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This gets on my nerves. Anyway, he introduces himself. He once again takes the lead, and she bites. She don't stand in her truth. When he stick his hand out and say, "David, nice to meet you," she say, "Ellie." I would have been like, "David, what the hell? David, this is David. We went to school together. He and I went to school together. I wouldn't have been able to hide the fact that I know him." But she did it. She did it, and they headed on out to sit down and eat. Okay, and it's a whole mess. It is a whole mess. You know, she in the kitchen trying to gather herself before she go out there and sit down, and her husband just talking. He opening up the house. He letting everybody outside, and all the air has been sucked out of the room. She don't know what she gonna do. So now Courtney's sitting there with her and David, and they holding hands and laughing and talking like they've been dating for a while, which I don't get. I don't understand. All this time your girl never told you she was dating a dude named David, and you ain't say David who? Really? Y'all just don't talk? I don't get it. Anyway, he let him know he a hacker and all of that. Come to find out, her and Courtney don't work at the same firm, which I don't know why I got that idea, because they walked into the building together when they first came in, and she said to Ellie, "I'm surprised your old firm never hired him." I'm like, that's a scab. It's a scab. It's a scab. Ellie hears very little because in the back of her mind, she's screaming. She can't believe he's sitting across. And they talking, they in love, him and Courtney. They looking all deep down into each other's eyes, and you know how they met and all of this. And she says he went through a lot when he had this divorce. Ellie gonna ask him what happened. And so he repeats to her what she said to him when they was in the restaurant. And perfect home, perfect wife, perfect everything. But one day you wake up next to a person and that's a perfect stranger. And it sends shivers down her spine. Meanwhile, Courtney thinks it's the sweetest thing she ever heard. But it turns out he don't mind talking about this divorce situation. He don't mind talking about the whole situation because it make him seem like a hero to Courtney. And of course, it make him seem like he partially normal to everybody else. But Ellie get up to go in the kitchen to get dessert. And she want Courtney to come in and help her. Right? And David say he gonna go. Where they do that at? Where they do that at? That ain't your man. Why is he going in the kitchen to help you? Okay, so she ain't bring Courtney in the kitchen, but she got David in the kitchen, and she asked him if he crazy. How dare you show up at my house? He said, you don't return my calls, you don't return my texts. How else am I supposed to reach you? She said, you're not supposed to. He said, you don't have to worry, our secret is safe. She said, my husband is outside. Do you not see what I'm willing to do for you? She said, don't touch me. Okay. She said, I want you to go outside right now and come up with an excuse and get the hell on and get out of my house now. And I never want to see you around me or my daughter, my husband, or my home again, ever. Okay. She putting her foot down. Do you understand? She putting her foot down. Now Nia does a good job in this moment. She conveys the right amount of fear, because if you ever had to woof up at somebody and make yourself bigger and stronger and crazier than they are to back them up off of you, you know when you come down off of that energy, you're shaking, you're frightened, and she when he turns to walk outside to tell Courtney he gotta go because whatever excuse. And Nia walks just up a little bit, Ellie, and she says, Courtney, I'll take you home, because she gonna tell her girl everything when she get in the car. Unlike Courtney not telling her nothing about the fact that she dating this man named David, and she all googly and or in love. Okay, and so Courtney decides to go on and leave with David, and Marcus get up to see them out, and he goes past Ellie, and he says, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Oh, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Oh, I know that moment. I know that feeling. When you coming down off of that adrenaline, having gotten all outside of your character to gather somebody and save your own doggone life. Okay, the next day, Ellie running on the beach. She got to get her thoughts together, because she realized now here is an individual that has no quit. He don't have no off button if you done showed up at my house. Okay, and she gets in her mind that she got to tell Courtney. At the very least, she got to tell Courtney. Now, I don't know why you don't immediately talk to your husband, because you see in this moment the texts, the calls, the showing up where you are. Now he at your house. You got to bring your husband in the loop. Why she didn't, I don't know. First of all, when you don't bring your husband or your mate in the loop, you run the risk of not only getting them hurt, but putting them in a position where they may embarrass themselves. They may make a fool out of themselves, or feel like they made a fool out of themselves because you knew that they was hanging with the enemy, or the enemy might approach them and they wouldn't know it. Like they would be completely blind to the fact that this person is an enemy, or could do some harm, or could be some harm, and you don't give them a heads up, and then consequently end up feeling like he's been made a fool of. So Ellie running along the beach trying to catch her thoughts. She get back up on their own personal dock, and she see there on the table is a box. It's Patrice Rushen's Forget Me Nots, the album, right? The actual album, okay, wax. And it's from David, of course. And she get on the phone and call Courtney and say, Courtney, please call me back. I need to talk to you. I've left you so many messages. You mean to tell me you ain't got in your car and went down here and talked to your friend? I realize you live in the country and she live in the city, but if anything, okay, requires you to get in your car and take that damn drive, this is it. And now you done got another straw on the back of the camel when you get Patrice Rushen's album and you still ain't told your husband. This ought to let you know right here that you need to tell your husband. Now, meanwhile, when she get it off the table on the deck and go inside, somebody watching her. Wonder who it could be. But you still don't tell your husband, right? So then we see where she go into the restaurant and she gonna meet with David. She got on a black trench coat and black shades. It's a lot of black. It's a lot of black fabric, the color black. It's a lot of darkness in this movie in terms of visuals. There's a lot of dark colors. Now she wears, some vibrant colors, but for the most part, I notice the people in the restaurant are basically wearing black and white or gray. It's something with the costuming that's throwing me off altogether. I don't know. Anyway, she walking into this restaurant like she mean business, child, and get right there to the doggone table. Ooh, this hair, this unit that Nia is wearing is everything. She walk up to the table. He said, "Hey," she said, "Don't." Ooh, child, that makeup is flawless. She's never looked more beautiful. She's never looked more beautiful than she does in this scene. He said, I know you're upset. She said, you deuce my friend and you show up at my house. Huh? You crossed the line, David. He said, I get it. I get it. Okay? You want to be discreet. If that don't send a chill down your spine, girl, he said, I can be discreet about us. Us? There is no us. What about your husband? She said, if you were thinking about talking about husband. He said, I didn't say I would, but I can. Okay? Come on, Ellie. Tell me that night didn't unlock something inside of you. She said, he said, look at you. We did it. No, y'all didn't do it. Y'all came close to doing it, but y'all didn't do it. She said, you know what? I've tried to be considerate of your feelings and be respectful of our friendship, but what is it going to take? Okay? Still trying to be amicable for you to stay away from me, my family, and Courtney. He said, make the same mistake we made 20 years ago? There's no mistake. The only mistake I made was getting caught up in the moment that night. David, I'm warning you. Stay the hell away. And he said, who do you think you're talking to, Deborah? And she said, Deborah? Excuse me, who is Deborah? And baby, when I tell you it seemed like somebody pulled a plug out of his back and he stuck in that anger pose. Ooh, he sit back like, what? Yeah, that's your crazy. That's your crazy. It ain't all the way out the box, but I can see the claws reaching around the top and the bottom of the box, baby. It's almost got it figured out how it's going to get all the way out. Okay? He is crazy. She said, I want you to leave me alone. Stay away from me. Go away from me with this. She get up and put her doggone shades on and take that Patrice Rushen album that she had in her handbag. That's a hell of a handbag, baby. If y'all know anything about the size of albums, okay, and gives it to him. Okay, he pulls it out of the sleeve, baby, and cracks it up in a million pieces. Not a million, but album can't stand a scratch, let alone a break. Like, maybe you didn't get it when he showed up at your house. Maybe you didn't get it when he showed up downtown and cornered you as you was getting in your car. Like, maybe you didn't understand any of that. But this conversation right here should send you straight to your husband. Like, you got to talk to your husband, because you got to know that you have zero control over a man who is mistaking you for someone named Deborah. Who is Deborah? Huh? Why is he calling you Deborah? Because Deborah is the last person he did this mucky muck with. This muckety mick with. Okay? All right? Watch out for them signs, girls. Watch out for them signs. A lot of times we feel like God has forsaken us, but he's been telling us all along. He's left us road signs. It's glaring. It's there. It's clear. Okay? It's confirmation that who you messing with and who you dealing with and who you in the bed with ain't no good. But we like to look over them. We like to disregard them unto death, to our own detriment. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. Now, she get home and Marcus downstairs working. She go down there and she dragging and he say, hey, what's wrong? And she sullens her way on over there to him and sits in his lap and hugs him, and she's crying. Here was the moment for you to tell him. She hugged him so long and so hard. Here is the moment for you to let your husband know, for you to get your husband heads up. Okay, here's a moment for y'all to talk about it, to be mad about it, to be angry about it. Here is this moment so that you can have an ally, at least one ally on your side, girl. Another set of eyes to watch out for you and your family. It's his home that needs to be protected too, right? Like, I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. I'm not sure. So she goes back to her office and she pull up in front of her office and Courtney standing out there with her arms folded, looking crazy, looking mad, like somebody done stole her cat. Now, this whole Courtney scene really, really pissed me off. So I'm going to go ahead and watch it and record that whole reaction for y'all, because I got some things to say about these types of friendships and things. But let's go ahead and get into it. She said that he told her the whole thing on their way home. On their way home from the dinner, because it's been several things that happened in between that. Okay? And the girl said she been trying to call you. So that means this whole time you've known about the fact that they slept together, which they didn't sleep together, but this is the story that David told Courtney. Okay, this is the story that the villain has told the damsel's best friend. Okay, and how could you not tell me? He told me the whole thing. How could you let him sit there that whole time? How could he sit there that whole time? How could he go there with you? Huh? How could he go there with you? What you say? I'm going to a friend's house for dinner. You didn't even say who the friend was. The moment you said my friend Ellie and her husband Marcus, he shouldn't have, he should have said hold up, Marcus who? Just like I said, obviously you wasn't telling Ellie about, y'all good girlfriends, y'all go out for drinks and all this, and been looking for a man and all that, and she got her a good man. Why when you tell her you found this dude, this amazing dude, and tell her his name? Now, okay, so now you showing up at her office, something he done told you. This the reason why you not taking her phone calls. This the reason why you don't believe her. And, Ellie is telling her, Courtney, that's not true. I did try to tell you. Courtney's like, tell me what? David is unstable, Courtney. Oh, he's unstable? You come on to him in the middle of a nightclub, rip his clothes off in the bathroom, and he's unstable? You then invited him to lunch, scream at him, and tie the front whole restaurant in front of the whole restaurant, and he's unstable? Ellie said, wait a minute, what did he tell you? Courtney said the truth, that you wanted to have an affair ever since Janice hired him, but he turned you down. You seduced him. And you've been tripping ever since you found out I was seeing him. Ellie said, that's not true. You know me better than that, okay? You know me better than that. And then she said, really? And she showed her a text. Now, in this text, it's messages that he sent to her, but it looked like that Ellie sent it to him. And Courtney is like, oh, really? You know what? He didn't even want to show him to me because he knows what this would do to your marriage if it ever got out. And you believe him? Ellie said, you actually believe the guy who sat with us at dinner and told us both that he was a hacker. If he wanted you to know so badly that he and I were having an affair, why do you think it took him so long to tell you? Because apparently he's the only one that cares about your marriage. She's like, I don't even know why I bothered to come down here. She's calling after her. She running out. She said, I just don't understand. For me to come here and to think that you would really try to explain. She's trying to explain to you, sis, but you don't want to listen. And she's saying, listen, Courtney, there's something wrong. Courtney storms out, oh, there's definitely something wrong here. Now, she running out the door behind Courtney, trying to stop her, trying to explain, and he's sitting in the car across the street. David is watching the whole thing go down. I just don't understand. I don't understand these little flaws in the storyline. Okay, but now you know. Now you know that your friend ain't ish. Because even if everything she's saying that she believes is true, that's still a reason for you not to mess with that dude. Like, if you mess with my girl, me and you can't kiss, we can't make out, we can't do all that. Now, I ain't saying about 20, 30 years from now. I'm just saying it's been right here in this same time span, in the same year. No, your girl can't even do it. It's a code to these things. But now, Ellie, you realize that this man is doing some things over the World Wide Web. Like he's able to manipulate some things. You admit as much to Courtney. So then you leave and decide you finna go down to the local library and pull up his records and think you gonna find what? Because obviously he's wiping. I just, when I say wiping, I mean, he's wiping the old information and putting new information out there. So if you were to inquire about his background, divorce decrees, tickets, anything like that, you gonna get a clean record. Like, it's completely possible. And at this moment, I just don't get it. Now, Courtney knows, she references your marriage, you still don't tell the husband, but that's fine. So Ellie take a trip back to her old college, her and David's old college, and she meet up with a friend of theirs who's a professor now, and who was good friends with David. And she tell her that he's being considered for a job, and she want to ask a little bit more about him. Smart, nice guy, yada yada yada, and same way he was in college, except he had eyes for you. And she was like, Ellie was like, really? Yes, girl. Yes, he all but let you know that at dinner. The stuff that he was saying let you know that he was way more into you than you was into him. And the lady was like, I'm surprised you didn't notice. Maybe because you had eyes for markers, And she was like, yeah, I don't remember David coming on to me, but I do. I mean, having a thing for me, but I do remember Marcus looking fine. And she talked about that he was married. And she said, I'm surprised you didn't know that he was married because the wife looked just like you. A lot like you. And she said, really? She was like, yeah. And she said, well, why did they divorce? She said, well, marriages don't work out sometimes. And then she looked around like she had something else she wanted to say. And she told Ellie that Deborah, the wife, Deborah, we done heard that name before. The wife told her in secret that he had a crazy temper. Okay? Bells would have been going off for me left and right. Bells. And I don't mean idea bells. I mean alarm bells. Like the sense of panic I would have felt in the pit of my belly, baby. His friend, the professor, told her that Deborah is dead now. She wanted to talk to Deborah. Ellie did. But come to find out she dead. The man she was dating at the time turned out to be a dealer. And somebody broke in the house and killed both of them. Okay, alarms. I'm talking about 5 bells would be ringing all up and through my spirit right now. Okay, I don't know why she wouldn't tell the husband. Okay, case in point. Now she looking through all her paperwork, trying to see what's going on with this marriage and this murder, and if he was ever considered a suspect, and so on and so forth. And meanwhile, he done went and got a scrambler for her alarm system to turn the alarm system off, and now he in the house with them. He in the house going through her underwear drawer, pulling things out, and they're there in the bed sleep. I never understood that. I've never been able to understand how somebody can stand right up on you and in your space and you don't know it. Anyway, the daughter come home and she coming in. She gonna make her a bag of popcorn and she hears something in the distance, okay? And he's skulking around through the house and he done grabbed a knife in case he have to shank the daughter, okay, to keep her from talking and seeing that he there in the house. So she walks ever so gently, this cautious walk once again. Like if you feel that sense of dread where you need to be quiet and you need to be cautious, you need to be going in the opposite direction of the noise. Okay, go and find you some lights. Why is this house dark? Turn some lights on round up and through here. Now she coming to a corner and he's on the other side of the corner. And so all she got to do is just go around that corner a little bit and he gonna shank her. Right? But the microwave go off and she go back and get the popcorn out and he put the knife on the counter and slip on out the door. Ever so gently. I'm telling you, you cannot come in my house and be skulking around, sneaking around like that and I wouldn't know it. It's too many booby traps. It's too many booby traps. Now, meanwhile, Ellie is steady calling Courtney, steady trying to talk to her, wanting her to see this whole thing about the wife being killed and the fact that he was considered a suspect, even though he was cleared and all of this stuff. She is just steady trying to call Courtney. Everything but getting your behind up and going down there and seeing Courtney at her job or going to her house and seeing her. I just don't understand this why you keep relying on the phone and you know your phone can't be trusted. It's probably tapped 5 ways till Sunday. How you a lawyer hiring a IT tech that's a professional hacker and like in the back of your mind you don't realize that people can access all types of data. Like you should be on high alert. But I bet you if you had told your husband, he'd have put you in high alert mode. Mind you, she done put her secretary on high alert now and sent a picture of David and let him know if this man show up, call the police. She back home now. She eating with her husband and her daughter. Now they got the lights on in the house now because the daughter there, I guess, and they eating, and her phone buzzing, and the husband talking about his new job and how excited about it. She's zoned out because she got something on her mind. It's David calling her. It's David ringing her phone once the dog gone again. She just don't understand how she gonna stop it. She look at the text, and it's a picture of the two of them slow grinding in the club where she had her back to him and she was leaned into him, giving him that booty in that slow grind. Y'all already know what that is. And then she spins around and puts her hands on the shoulder. That moment, it's on the video. She's so shocked, she dropped the phone. The daughter go to pick it up. I thought she was gonna break the girl neck, child. You cannot see this. Now listen, it's a button on your phone, the on and off button. If you just hit it one time, it'll make your phone go black. Just try that. Just try that next time, okay? All right. So she goes to another part of the house and call him. And how did you get this? And he said, I have broken into some of the top private firms in the country for you. So what make you think I can't get video from a nightclub? And she said, come near me again. Send me anything else. Contact me again. I'm going to call the police. And he, once again, threatens her marriage with her husband. Okay? Threatens to expose her. And he tells her, I'm not giving up on us, Ellie. Okay? And hangs up on her. David, call his name one more time. Call his name one more time and see won't he appear. Huh? So what does she do? She don't hang up and call the police. Oh, no. She don't hang up and try to call a private investigator and get some advice. No, she calling Courtney once again, trying to get this message to her. And I guess it's supposed to give this idea that she is so concerned about Courtney. But you should be more concerned about your marriage and your daughter and your family, okay? Meanwhile, the security system they got at home, he done hacked into it. So the cameras they got around their house, watching their house for burglars and thieves, he is hacking into it and he watching them walk around their own home. This is why I don't like cameras and stuff in the common areas. Put them on the doors, but don't be watching me walk around my house. I don't like stuff like that. I don't care for that at all. Okay, now she's sitting around all gloom and doom and befuddled. What is I'm gonna do? Steady trying to call Courtney. All of this, you still ain't told your husband. She get this idea that she gonna open up her computer and gonna send Courtney an email. Girl, what is wrong with your car? Is the tires not working? Like, I don't get it. She sent Courtney an email with the article about the husband and the couple being killed, Deborah and the man being killed. Meanwhile, we see Courtney open up the email. The email pop up from Ellie in Walt David. Okay, she closed the computer down. He give her a gift. Now the gift he give her is the outfit that she had on that he pulled out of Ellie's drawer when he broke into the house, right? Sends her off to go try it on. He lifts her computer up and pulls up her email, takes the email from Ellie and deletes it, and then goes and deletes the trash bin. Okay, erases the record from her computer. Well, not really, but still, Courtney ain't gonna find it, obviously. If she can't find the thief in her own, the killer in her own bed, I don't know how she gonna look for that email. So she goes back, Courtney, and tries on this little outfit, which done had her good girlfriend's coochie cat in it as well. But she don't know that. She can't tell that. Like, she cannot smell that this is not a brand spanking new outfit. Anyway, he throws her up on the counter, baby. He want to try to reenact that moment in the bathroom that he had with Ellie, and he wants her to tell him that she love him and all of this, and he manhandling her. I mean, he is finna get to it with her with a certain amount of anger, which I just feel like it's fine. It's okay if everybody is involved with it, but somehow she don't seem like she a part of this moment of angry sex. But she accepts it. Any pair of britches is better than nothing at all. And meanwhile, they show her handbag and her phone in the handbag, and this Ellie calling her over and over and over again. I mean, really, how much can you care about your friend if you don't get up and go over there? If you don't get up and go to the job, how much can you say you really care about your friend? Now, the next day, she has gone over to Courtney's house, and she's sitting outside when Courtney walked out in her pajamas to walk David out. Now, he follows him, child. She following him and follows him to a golf course and realizes almost instantly that the person that he's meeting for golf is her husband, Marcus. Now, I am not sure why Marcus didn't tell you he was going to play golf with David. I'm not sure about that at all. I don't know why you didn't walk out there on that field not knowing, or on that course, not knowing what this man was going to tell your husband, not knowing what position this man is going to put your husband in. Like, I don't get that. It's a scab. It's a major, major scab. Sense of dread is apparent, right? We see where Marcus and David are out on the golf course, and almost immediately David is quizzing him about Ellie being a great girl, about them having a great marriage, about everything being gravy with him. Tell me your secret about, how you get a great girl like this, a beautiful woman like this, so on and so forth. And Marcus is none the wiser. He feels like he is a lucky guy, and anybody would be envious of him in his situation. So he tells him, I wasn't always great. I went through a lot. Our marriage has gone through a lot. I was in a terrible accident. And David is like, really? A terrible accident? Now, it's apparent to me what happened to Marcus. Why they didn't explore it more in the movie, I don't know. It would have just added to the crazy, this revelation, for it to come out. But this is the one thing about Netflix movies. If I had to change anything, it would be how rushed a lot of them seem. A lot of them seem rushed. They don't seem as complete as they could be, right? And I don't care if you put it in a 3-part series, you know what I'm saying, a 4-part series, a 6-part series. Let's talk about it. Just trying to compact it into this movie, this hour, 2 hour, hour and a half long movie, and you leaving out all of these things. It's like telling people that they're not intelligent. Like, it's like saying, oh, you're not gonna miss the flaws, but it's not enough excitement in here for us to look past the flaws. It really isn't. In order for you guys to sell this man as being completely and utterly bad-ish crazy, we gotta see more crazy. We gotta see more violence. We got to see it. And up until this point, we really haven't seen much of nothing, right? We just got all these innuendos and these funny ways that he's moving. But anyway, Marcus tells him about this accident, that he was riding his bike or taking a jog or something alongside the road, and somebody hit him, and he had all of these horrific injuries. It came out of the blue. They never caught the person. The person standing right in front of you, sir, he's the person that ran you off the road. Okay? And it's this moment I realized he ain't just been looking for you, checking you out when he got that job. Oh, no. He has spent every day since he killed that Deborah girl, the Deborah girl, the ex-wife, probably thinking about you, probably looking at what you had going on. Some kind of way. I don't know, when he went to therapy and all of that, he started coming up with ideas about you, and he has implemented so much so that he tried to get rid of your husband long before he even introduced himself to y'all life. He tried to kill your husband. Okay, but he sucks at being a killer. The only person he could really kill real good was Deborah. Marcus is telling him all this stuff that happened to him and everything. He and Ellie went to counseling, all of that. Things are better now. Things are looking up. He was in a body cast for 6 months, but things are better with his health, with his job, and with Ellie. Well, obviously, if you've been in a cast for 6 months, that would definitely put a strain on your marriage. Okay, obviously, right? But for better or for worse, I digress. Anyway, so Marcus walks on back to the golf cart, and David is behind him walking up. Now, once again, David got every pair of clothes in his closet on. He got on a golf shirt, looked like a vest, had a jacket, and a doggone hat. I was like, what is going on with the way they dressing on my Elps? I don't get it. Anyway, he walking up talking to him all menacing and about, you don't know how lucky you are having a wife. And as he's walking up, he looking around to see if anybody looking at. He got that golf club in his hand. Like he finna mollywop Marcus. Like he finna beat him unto death to finish what he started when he ran him off the road, right? But the whole time he talking about, you have no idea what it's like to have your woman kissing another man and hugging another man and feeling all over another man. You know what I'm saying? Yada, yada, yada. And Marcus is not turning around. He just listening or half listening or whatever. And he act like he gonna hit Marcus. And then he just gives up on the idea, I guess, and puts it in the golf carrier, right? The club carrier. I was like, what is going on? Is we going to do this or not? Now I'm picking at all of the scabs. Anyway, him and Marcus come outside after they play golf and they hugging and let's do this again. And David get in his Audi and he driving on off. And instead of her going straight immediately to wherever her husband is and talking to him real quick and making sure he know what's going on just to give him just another layer of protection, she continues to follow David. And she follows him to his apartment. Now, when she gets to the high rise where he live, it's daylight. Okay? When he leave out, it's dark time. Okay? Get in his car and go wherever it is he going. And she decides she going inside this building. And she going to see what's going on in his apartment. I for all my screenwriters out there, my writers, if you got an idea, if you got a concept, flesh it all the way out. Flesh it all the way out and then go through and edit. Figure out what them flaws are, reduce and rewrites, reapproaches, and flesh it out again, okay? Because the scabs in this movie is driving me nuts. Now, you go up to the counter in his apartment, which looked like a corporate apartment building, right? You go and tell the lady you was there earlier, you left this morning, and you left some things in the apartment and you want to get them out, and the lady give you the key to the man's apartment and tell you we've all been there. First of all, you black and she white, never would have happened. Never would have happened, okay? They would have drug you out of there kicking and screaming, baby, okay? Before they would have gave you a key to this man's apartment. Again, she goes into the apartment. It looked like a corporate apartment, like just all of that office furniture looking stuff in that, you know what I'm saying? Like just plain, just. She go in, she look around, look in that closet with all them black and gray clothes, and looks around a little bit more and finds the laptop. Then she gets the laptop, she brings the laptop into the kitchen and puts it on the counter, and she puts her name in as the password. Ellie_Warren. That's not the password. He's a hacker. He's a hacker. He's an IT guy. You would never be able to break into his computer. I'm telling you that now. They have 21 character passwords. Like, anyway, second time she tries a password and she gets in. Goes to the pictures. The first pictures that are pulled up are pictures that he took of his ex-wife and her boyfriend in their home. Now, seemed like to me these pictures would be years old. They would be at the bottom of the picture barrel. They wouldn't be the first pictures that pull up. Second set of pictures she pull up are pictures of her as she matriculating around the city, as she's standing on her dock, as she with her husband, all of this stuff. Okay, them would have been the first pictures that pulled up because you his number one obsession right now. But again, scabs. Well, she hear him come in, she get that laptop and get down behind the counter. Now, she is actually in front of the counter, the part facing the window. He's standing behind the counter opening up this package, and it comes to him that something is going on. Maybe somebody's in my house. Now, the moment I walk in my house, I know if somebody's in there because I can smell them. Okay? My house got a smell. It's got a fragrance. And if you bring your body in from the outside and you sweat just one little teeny tiny bit, MizHoney gonna know it. And she can smell you. And she gonna follow that smell until she find it. out what it is. I know which corner you done been in my house. I say corner, which corner you have bent. For those of y'all who don't understand country, I know what corner you done been in my house. I know what room you in. I know what door you went in. All of that. Just by the nose, boo. Just by the nose. Okay? So, what does she do? He get a phone call. Now, when he get the phone call, he pick the phone up. The phone is not right there behind the counter by the, in front of the stove, that part of the counter where he's standing. Now, he done stopped right there and put his bag down. He opened the package up. But his phone is at the corner of the counter by where she hiding. How? Houseway. Okay. All right. Don't pick at it. It's a tense moment, but that's Courtney calling. She want him to pick up dinner, and he on the way. He just turn around, I'm headed to you now, and walk right back out the door. Forget the noise you heard. Forget the sound you heard, even though you know you ain't in your right frame of mind, okay? You know you is a little... You say, forget what I heard, that noise that I heard. Even though the same scenario played out with my obsession's daughter not 2 nights ago, that's no problem. He head on out and she leave on out. Now she in the car driving at a high rate of speed, Ellie. Should she call her husband? No. Even though she got proof. Does she call her husband? No. She called Courtney because she got more concern for Courtney than she got for her own doggone family. Okay? Okay? What the heck? It don't make no sense. I can't get behind this. So she called Courtney and Courtney picks up the phone and immediately she goes into explaining to Courtney. Okay? She said, hey, you got everybody be every right to be mad at me, but David's not the man that you think. Everything, getting a job at the firm, to dating you, all of this has been to get to me. And you know this how, Courtney says? Because I went to his partner. He's got pictures of me on the computer. He's been watching me. Courtney, he is dangerous. Courtney say I got to go because it's a knock at the door. Okay? He come in. Now, he want to know who she was on the phone with because he been listening. Okay? That's another sign right there. It's another sign right there. You all the way down the hall, ear hustling on what I'm talking about in a closed apartment. Okay, he want to know who she talking to. She say it's a word called nothing. He questions her a little bit more about it. That further questioning lets me know as well that he's a little off. You know what I'm saying? That he a little bad in the head, right? She get his phone and she looking at it and going through, and he got pictures. Tons of pictures of a friend Ellie, including the picture with Ellie with Marcus, okay? And he walks up behind her while she looking at the pictures. And she says, oh, he says, I wish you hadn't seen that. She said, why do you have pictures of Ellie in your phone? He tells a lie. Okay, he says that Ellie's boss thought it was suspicious that Ellie was leaving so soon, so she hired me to check up on Ellie. This is why I got all these pictures and stuff in the phone. See if I can find something suspicious. So she want to know, did you find something suspicious? Girl, I don't know why you don't use that phone to go upside his head. I don't know why, so you get up out of there. This time she's stammering. He walking up on the child. Say, I think I need some air and try to go around him. He ain't finna let you go nowhere. He says everything's gonna be just fine. And then he yanks her down. And we see Ellie downstairs, Courtney pushing the buzzer. Courtney. Door open now. She breathing out heaven. Courtney. She see Courtney laid out on the floor. Courtney laid out. She got a pool of blood behind her head. Now, she laid out just as pretty as you please, like a little damsel. A little hair in her face. You know, it's a real beautiful pose, right? She trying to get Courtney up. She trying to help. Somebody help. Then we see her leaning up against the wall and the police is there and all of this stuff. It's a black detective. They done sent Eunice to the apartment, but he wasn't there. They telling Ellie all of this. And in come Marcus. He want to know what's going on. What's happening. Tell me what's going on. She don't want to talk about it right now. Tell me what my daughter is. You must be the husband, the detective say. Tell me what's going on. Her friend was attacked By who? What happened, Ellen? Please tell her they're going to send units to her house to make sure. In the meantime, if anything, let me know. They let her go on. Now, she get to the house and she done finally been forced to tell Marcus. He's infuriated. He drank my beer. I played golf with this SOB. You know, I can't believe this. I was like, girl, I tried to tell you. You should have told him early on. Now you just he upset, or what looks like upset. If you guys were so close, how come I never heard about him? She said, I haven't talked to him since I graduated from college. It don't look like they was close at all. She said, I haven't seen him since we graduated from college. And when he showed up at the house, I mean, I didn't know how to tell you. He was like, so you screw him in the bathroom? I'm sorry. No. You almost did. I was drunk. How do you do this to us, Elle? I just got caught in a situation I did not. I didn't know what to do. The last thing I ever wanted to do was hurt you. Honestly, Marcus is boring. I can see why she was bored. Like, even in his anger, he's boring. He is. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you say anything? Are things that bad between us that you couldn't tell me? And I'm like, you talking about bad from this? Bad from the fact that you was in a cast for 6 months? Like, I don't understand how you could talk to a jury of 12, but you can't talk to your own husband. Marcus, where is your anger? Where is the vitriol? Like, why aren't you more animated than this? What's happening? It seems like y'all in rehearsal or something. Are the cameras rolling? Like, do y'all know they own? That whole conversation. Nia did all right. The daughter come in and she want to know why there's police outside. They got to tell her the whole situation. We don't see none of that exchange either. We do cut to a man laid out at the beach, homeless man. David pulled right up to his foot as he laid there on the concrete, and cuts away. Then we see him on the beach, David on the beach with a gas can and a lighter, and he's standing out there in all black, of course, looking out to the ocean. Okay, next morning we see the police, or we see a body that's burned up, burned to cinders out there on the beach, right? Okay, gasoline and a body. It take a lot to burn a body, okay? But supposedly David has killed himself, okay? Then they find a note. Now the body burned so bad they can't get DNA samples, and it's gonna take a while before the reconstructive or for the dental records come back, okay? But the handwriting expert has already looked at the letter that he left that didn't get burned. Now he must have put that up on a stone 6 to 10 feet away. But the clothes he had on, now the body burned so bad y'all ain't got no DNA, but y'all got clothes, y'all got clothing. Like, okay, all right. But they reassure her and Marcus that David is gone. They don't have to worry about him no more. This thing is all over. This some Tyler Perry writing, child. This some Tyler Perry writing. Anyway, she stops the police as she going out to detect him, and she asks her how Courtney doing. I'm telling y'all, you and Courtney were never friends. Anyway, she got a slight concussion. Stabilized. They're gonna let her have visitors now. She go on out the door. David looking out at the ocean, and she tells David that she's sorry. I'm sorry for all of this. He starts reminiscing about the day he first saw her. He knew, and then he says that, the minute I saw you, everything made sense, and if I expect this world to make sense at all, you got to be in it. So I guess what I'm trying to say, I said it before, I said it again, you stuck with me. And she said, I'm stuck with you. We're stuck with each other. If that ain't some old bad marriages for life, boo. Oh, what kind of hopeless ass thing is that to say? Like, it's old Tyler Perry, right, child? It's Thanksgiving. Now, you would think this was months ahead, but evidently it's right within that same week or so because they talking about it on the news. They talking about how he was dead and he was guilty of killing his wife and stalking an Oceanside woman, which is Ellie and Marcus, at her home. And the psychiatrist, the one that he been seeing, is on there giving her interview talking about this is a classic narcissistic personality. I was like, oh, it's a little bit more than narcissistic. Okay. They getting ready for Thanksgiving dinner and all that. She get a text from her secretary telling her she got to come down there and sign some paperwork for the holiday, right? And I guess they don't do couriers. They don't do couriers in New York, but that's fine. In California, that's fine, whatever. And so she head on down there to the office. Now, so she get to the office, and it's dark. Don't nobody flip no lights on. You know what I'm saying? You just walking into a dark space and now you looking for paperwork and all this, that, and the other, and you don't see it at your secretary's desk. It ain't on your desk. You head on to the back where you find your secretary laid out dead on the floor with her head bust open. And that's when you get a phone call, okay? Because evidently he hacked into your system at your office too, because he know you're there, or at least he know you're not at home. He following you still because he tell you as soon as you pick up the phone, he say they're home alone, okay? And she tear out of there and driving to the house at an alarming rate of speed because she got to save her family. She called the detective. Now, she didn't already call the house, okay? Ain't nobody answering the phone. She called the detective. David is still alive. I was like, girl, overact much. And the detective is like, slow down. What are you talking about? He's at my house. Where are you? I'm on my way to my house. I called, but no one's answering. Hangs on the phone. The detective calls and gets a unit over there to Perfect House Lane. Stat. And so then we see where she pull up to her house and she got to go up all them many steps. Till she get her front door. I was like, what is going on? I mean, the soundtrack is playing like it's a soundtrack that denotes imminent danger. So my heart is like, dum, 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 dum. She gets there, she goes in the house, she opens the door. Marcus! It's dark. It's completely dark. First thing I would do, flip all the lights, every light, all of the lights. Second thing I'm doing is I'm pushing the panic button on the security system, okay? Send the police. I don't care who you called. Every alarm you pass, sound it, baby. Sound it, okay? Then all of a sudden... you hear this warped Patrice Russian Forget Me Not. And he just dancing. He doing the 1-2 side to side. You know what I'm saying? That's the general overall dance that you do at the club when ain't nobody else dancing with you. You just got to do your 2-step side to side, you know. You know. And she was like, David, what are you doing? You know, it's this irrational conversation and he dance and he make a half turn and she's able to slip over and get a knife and hide it. When he comes back out of the turn and comes back around, of course he's talking irrational and crazy about, I knew I could convince you, because she done told him, yeah, you right about everything. Yeah, for sure. Okay, I get it. You know, trying to play along. And he was like, I knew you would come around. And so she go to turn or something, and he grab her from behind and she threw her arms up, spring her arms open, and he fall back into something in glass and he go down. Boom, on his belly. Down. Well, he stumble and kind of go down a little bit, and she pick up a vase and crack it over his head, and he go down, boom, on his belly, right? In all the glass. She pick up the knife and runs off to get Marcus and Brittany. And this rule number one, y'all. Just FYI, just as a tip here. If somebody is posing imminent danger on you, and you get a chance to mollywop them and get them down in the unconscious state, continue to mollywop. Okay, continue to beat them about the head and the forehead until you are sure that they cannot in any way pose a threat to you any further. When somebody go down, you keep shooting, keep stabbing, keep bamming, whatever. Make sure, because almost always when you go back to find that body has gotten up and walked off. Now she run upstairs and she find Marcus, and I don't know if she said he downstairs, but they go and climb stairs. Now the police is there. They go and climb some more stairs to go outside. I was so confused about the layout of the house. I was like, is she went up the stairs to get to the front door? Then she went up the stairs to get to the bedroom. Now y'all going up some more stairs to go out another door? I was so confused. Like, what is happening here? When were these scenes shot? So they get outside and he's leading the way. They see the boyfriend, child, which Ellie had already seen Brittany's boyfriend on the patio, which is one of the few places that was lit up brightly, where we could see him with a fake blood spot on his forehead and laid out ever so gently, as if, he wasn't touched at all. He looks like an extra. He looks like an extra in a zombie movie, like, whatever. Anyway, they get to the police car and the police throat is cut. It don't even make any sense. He tell Ellie to get in the police car and call this Marcus. Ellie to get in the police car and call for more help. He gonna get Brittany out of there. Why wouldn't you put your wife, and your daughter in a car and go back down that Mickey freaking driveway? Okay, let them police deal with whatever's going on there. But you finna send Brittany off to where? He could be in the back of the car with Brittany. Like, we don't even know. Like, it's stupid. It's poor writing. Poor execution. I don't like it. I'm getting pissed at this point. Okay, so she trying to call, hello, anyone there? Now, what is you doing? What is you doing? Now, the moment that she's pushing all the buttons in the police car and the lights come on, the outside lights come on the car, the headlights, and David is standing there. It's terrifying. It's one of the scenes from the trailer. All the scenes for the trailer were basically the highlights of how terrifying this David character really is. Walks up behind her, yokes her up. She starts screaming. There's a tussle. Marcus runs over as Brittany is backing down the driveway, and there's this tussle between the two of them, where basically Marcus gets his bottom handed to him by David, and somehow Ellie is able to get a knife and stab David. Give him a good shanking, right? Now, you already mollywopped him upside the head with the vase. And when you came back through the house, you saw that the body wasn't there no more. Now he's there again in imminent danger. You stab him. And instead of you turning that knife real hard and then slicing it the long way, okay, shut it down, shut that thread down. He goes back out into the driveway where the police car is. Now, I don't know where all the other police cars are. Evidently, this was the only cop in the area. But all right, we're not going to pick at that scab. And he pulls the officer's gun now, okay? And now he still got the knife in it. pulls the knife out, the knife drops, right? He's able then to go back through the house and around the back as they're running through the beach now. This is the brush on the beach now. And she went from helping David because they done got into such a tussle that he done pushed David over the balcony down on the ground level, okay? And so she got, not David, he done pushed Marcus down on the ground level. And she once again, oh, Marcus, honey, are you okay? And she gets him up and they running now through, like I said, through the brush on the beach. Okay. And she gets to this point where she's in front of him. Like, I thought you was helping him, sis. Evidently, she lost herself and left him. And now she's turned around and she's like, Marcus? And it's David. And he got a gun. And she's like, please, no. And he was like, even now, he's not by your side. I was like, that's just because of the writing, David. That's not because he's not a good man. That's just the editing, right? And he's got the gun. And I did everything for us to be together. And Marcus comes from the side and hits him hard. Boom. Okay, and they get to wrestling and tussling and carrying on, and he throwing her hard to the ground and all of this, that, and the other, and somehow, some way, David ends up hanging off the cliff. They're at the beach. They ain't on the beach. They like on a mountaintop part, right? And he's hanging off and she's holding on to him. David, trying to keep him from falling. You don't know this man. And he a psychopath. Let him go. And then Marcus, in his imminent weakness, I got you, Ellie. I got you. It was poor writing. Anyway, she lets him go. And he falls down to the beach below. Now, he must have bounced a couple of ways because he was yay close to the water when we see his body laid out there on the beach. And she is sobbing. I was like, you ain't cried this hard through this whole situation. You ain't cried this hard. And they hugged up. Then we see the daughter go on off to college, which she had that same hairstyle through the whole movie, but that's fine. She got one little bag she packing up and it's full of giraffe. She heading on back. It's something about the dynamics. I don't know. It seems like I've heard people say that Nia Long is hard to work with. She a piece of work. She mean as a rattlesnake. A lot of people feel that way about bow-legged folks. I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, you can just see that there's not a connection. There doesn't really seem to be a connection with any of the actors at all, including the actress that plays his daughter, except for with Omar Epps. She seems to have a little bit more of a connection with him. I don't know. It seems apparent to me that she seems as though she's not connected to her other coworkers. Nia Long. And then we see where, they go back in the house and the house is now for sale. Like, they leaving this house now. It would take everything. I'm sorry. He died out on the cliff. He died inside of here. I'm not selling my house. This house is gorgeous. Too many stairs. Too many staircases. But still, it's a gorgeous house. And then the show goes off. That's it. That's all. I don't know. It's so many scabs. And I wanted so much for this movie. Like, I was so excited. But it's just another case of the trailer being better than the actual movie. And we see that time and time again. People are not taking their times with these scripts. They're not taking time with the actors. They're pumping it out and getting it done as inexpensively as possible and as quickly as possible so they can get this media out here to us. And to me, it's apparent. Like, I can see it in the writing. I can see it in the acting. I can see it in the editing. Like, it's apparent to me. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all put it down below. Did y'all learn anything? Nia Long looks good. The visuals were stunning. The setups of their home and the city, like the pictures and the sea and the ocean and all that stuff. It was really, really nice. Really, really beautifully set up. I love the fact that they changed different venues and different scenes. A lot of times when you get these Tyler Perry-esque type movies, you really only stay like within four different scenes, 2 to 3 different scenes. Like you don't get a lot of different scenery. So I could appreciate that. Soundtrack was pretty good. I was okay with that. It's just that the acting wasn't great. The plot line could have used more. It wasn't that the acting was bad. It was just lackluster. It was lackluster. It wasn't really impactful at all. Like I wasn't riveted. I wasn't on the edge of my seat. And I agree now that Omar was not the right person to play the villain. Although he didn't have a lot to work with. He did not. I mean, as villains go, they got off kind of easy, which is why I wouldn't have sold that house. Because I mean, we done seen some villains, y'all. We done seen some villains, baby. Ciao, bye. Y'all tell me what you think. Put it down below. And until next time, honeybees. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I holla.